Nick, you're going to have to just press accept. So, just taking a moment in a comfy seated position, allowing the sit bones just to gently settle. Allow yourself just to bring yourself to the present on the yoga mat. Maybe just lifting through the spine, just growing a little taller, relaxing the shoulders gently. And then start to just soften the breath, just that rise and fall of the inhale and the exhale. Maybe allowing yourself to soften your eyes, maybe close your eyes. Gently feeling a lift from the crown of the head. Just following that natural breath, just as we settle into practice, just observing how you feel. And then gently allow that breath to become longer on the inhale and longer on the exhale. Maybe bringing a gentle Ujjayi breath. Maybe, if your practice allows you to, just pausing at the top of the breath and pausing at the bottom of the exhale. And if you're used to kind of setting an intention of any sort, then please feel free just to think about that and what it would be. Maybe remind yourself as you work through the practice. Just a reminder before we start that I'm not going to mirror fault because you're all in a big circle. So left is left and right is right. I'm going to drop my left hand gently to the mat, just taking it over slightly, lifting through the right hand side of the body, lifting the hand all the way up, and maybe taking the gaze all the way to the fingers. Inhaling as we lift and lengthen through the side a little more, and exhaling across all the way. You can bring it forward if you want to. Inhaling all the way back up to center. Exhaling as we bring that hand all the way down to the mat, lifting, inhale on the opposite side. And exhaling all the way across. Inhaling as we go back. Exhaling as we bring the hand down, just swapping, inhaling, lift. Exhaling, maybe keeping the chest open, maybe bending and softening the elbow. All the way back, floating back. Inhale, lift all the way up high. And exhale all the way across. Sweeping back, right hand is going to come to the left knee, gently drawing yourself. Keep that spine nice and long and tall. All the way into a gentle twist. Inhaling and exhaling into the twist. Left hand comes over, swapping to the other side. Inhaling, lengthening that spine, sitting nice and tall. Breathing into this. Bring your right hand all the way back across, keeping the hands crossed, rolling the chin all the way down, chin to chest. Inhaling as we open the hands and the elbows come just gently behind us, taking a nice big wide stretch. Bring that chin down if you want to take a stretch down the neck. Hands are going to come behind us. if you wish, you can just open the chest. If you want to take the stretch further, lifting the hips up off the mat and just watching the back of the neck, allowing that length through the side of the throat, not allowing that head to tip back too far. All the way forwards. And bring yourself to flat back. So hands are going to come under the shoulders. If you've got a blanket, just pop it to one side. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders into flat back position, knees underneath the hip points. You can tuck toes if you wish. And just take a moment here. We're going to push away from the mat and just feel that kind of breadth across the shoulders, looking down between the thumbs. As we inhale, we're going to drop the belly, look forward into cow. Soften the elbows if you wish. Exhaling, rounding the spine back into cat. A little bit of heat if you want. You can lift the knees and hover in cat. Tucking the toes will help in this. Coming back all the way, inhale into cow. And I'm just going to let you just for a moment, just take this where you need to go. So if that is a bit of a circle of the hips, just straightforward cat-cow, just take some organic movement and just enjoy the stretching and the flexing the spine and warming up. Keeping an eye on those wrists. So really think about that first finger and the thumb pressing into the mat. Clawing the mat. And if you wish to bring a little bit of heat to the core already, you can tuck your toes. You can keep your feet flat as well. You can lift up into hovering cat. So 2 options there. Explore if you wish, keeping that gaze all the way down. Inhaling and exhaling here. We're going to bring ourselves now just to a kind of stack back position, neutral position. We're going to drop the elbows down to the mat into a forearm kind of position here. So forearms nice and aligned with the side of the mat. And just if you need, walk the knees back. We're going to come to puppy pose. Now, you don't need to push through this. Just allow your hips to rise and your head to come towards the mat if you wish, dropping and opening the chest as well. So chest opening pose. If you've got any tricky shoulders, bring the hand, one hand across the mat so you can come into this quarter kind of position. So it allows you just a little bit of softness in the shoulders. Bring yourself all the way back up. We're going to push the hands all the way towards the knees and sit back on our heels. We're going to sweep all the way up high and just press the hands, the palms together when they come, and maybe take the gaze up to the thumbs and then draw them all the way back to the heart. So if you need to make yourself comfy, extra juice downstairs, water downstairs, if you've got water bottles with you. And we're just going to start working our way into the flow. Apologies, I think there's an artist at work downstairs. It's one of the sculptor guys. So at least it wasn't the sawing of the wood. When Anne came in, it was the sawing of the wood. So it was like, oh. So we're going to come all the way forwards into downward facing dog. And as you come up into downward facing dog, just walk downward facing dog out. So just give some movement here. Just patting the feet, maybe shifting weight, allowing just that gentle movement. And then as you start to slow that movement down, come to your base pose. So rooting through the hands, pushing the forearms towards each other, giving that real shoulder breadth, that shoulder support. Then your knees allowing the kind of hips to rise, sit bones to rise. Draw that kind of floating rib in and up. Gently pushing the chest very gently towards the thighs. And allow weight into the heels and the back of the legs. Relaxing the neck, drishti through towards the knees, and breathe. We just take a warm up here. We're going to come up onto our tiptoes and all the way up and over to high plank, just allowing a really lovely long line in plank. Bending the knees again, pushing back into downward facing dog. Up onto the tiptoes, all the way forwards, back into that long plank. Bending the knees all the way up into downward facing dog. Take a big, deep, full breath and let that big, deep breath go. Take a moment here. We're going to inhale and we're going to look forwards and we're going to come to the front of the mat and into that forward fold. Now, before we come up into this forward fold, what I want you to do is I want you to take your feet slightly wider and take the toes pointing just slightly out to the side. Amanda's had a bit of a warning about tonight's class. We're going to take the hands so she knows where we're going now, think. And as we do, we're going to come into an active squat. So we're going to take our hips lower and lift ourselves. So that's it. So we're just in a little active squat here. Okay, really strengthening these legs. I want you to push into heels and push into your toes. Really root through the mat. Push towards the hands, engage the core. Active squat. And we're going to be just adding these into our flow tonight. It's a good one, isn't it, Ingrid? Yeah, like this. You can go a little deeper if you wish. And then we're going to go all the way Ardha Uttanasana into forward fold. Bring the toes back underneath you. And just allow a little movement here. So you're lifting the heels, bending the knees. Maybe taking the hands to the elbows, allow a dangling fold here. Hands come back down to the mat and move the toes back out. So toes are pointing outwards. Come back to that active squat, hands together, pushing into the feet, pushing to the toes, the heels, the hands, engaging the core. Feel that real firm base. If you're shaking, that's good. We like shaking. And then fold Uttanasana all the way again. Ardha Uttanasana, we're going to come to hands to the shins if you wish. Exhale, you can still be in that wide kind of stance and then sink back to the active squat. Just drawing a little bit of heat into the practice now. Really use the body to activate the muscles. Uttanasana, forward fold, bring the toes underneath you. Going to interlace the fingers. Thumbs are going to come behind the head. So we cradle the head here. And we're just going to come up into a forward fold. A flat back here. So halfway. Push into the feet. Bend the knees if you need to soften the legs. And then bring the elbows towards each other and just gently roll and then bring the hands back down to the mat. Last one, toes come out to the side, hands come together, active squat. Really good one for strengthening the legs. We're going to come back to Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And from here, push into your feet, bend the knees softly, engage the core, and gently sweep the hands to the side as you lift all the way up to Ardha Hastasana. Pressing the palms together, activating through the front body. And exhale to mountain. Take a moment with mountain at the side. If you need water, just readjust. And layers, yes. We can open windows more if you need. Are you cold? Are you okay? No, nothing. It's absolutely fine. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, you can come through the midline or you can take a big swan dive all the way through Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're going to plant the hands, step to plank. Choices here, you can move through your own vinyasa. I'm going to show you a few alternatives tonight. Mine's going to come down to forearm plank instead of cobra on my belly. And I'm going to work here. I can soften this if I really wish into a gentle Sphinx pose. So you've got lots of choices. That allows me to tuck my toes, push my hands all the way back up to downward facing dog. So just giving you alternatives tonight. You can still work through chaturanga into up dog. Bend the knees, hop or float to the front of the mat into Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale, all the way fold. Push through the heels, sweep all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Hands to the heart into mountain. Inhale, upward lift. Exhale, fold. You can always fold through wide feet here, which is quite nice. Allowing space here. You can bend the knees as well to soften the pose. Interlace the hands behind you and then draw just the kind of hands towards the body and up if you wish. So I'm floating my hands up and over. Please don't push this, go to where you are comfy. And if that is just your interlaced hands resting on the base of your spine, that is absolutely fine. Bring your hands all the way to the mat. Keep the left hand on the mat. You can keep this wide if you want, which is soft on the legs, and allow the right hand to float to the sky. Bending and softening knees is absolutely fine here. So if one knee is slightly straighter than the other, that's fine. Swap the hands. Right hand comes to the left hand, and we come to the sky. Lovely, Ingrid. Lovely, lovely line there. All the way back to the mat. You can hop, jump, step, wherever you want to go to plank. Either you can take a nice big wide child's pose, or you can bring the knees down, chaturanga. You might want to come to cobra, up dog, your choice, wherever you're used to. Meeting in downward facing dog. Now we're going to bring our left foot forward. So to do that, we're going to anchor the right foot, or you can come down to your knees to step your left foot forward. Left foot is going to come into like this kind of lizard position, slightly wider, almost a runner's lunge. And then take that left hand all the way up into a twist. Excellent. Sweep back down, little vinyasa, or take a child's pose. Again, mix this up. Knees could come down, keeping elbows to the back of the mat. You might come to Bhujangasana. Meeting in downward facing dog. Right foot's going to come forward, so you can come all the way up to tripod, three-legged dog. Or you can step forwards in onto the other side, opening towards that knee. And if you're not so keen on those twists, then you can just gently rest your hand just on your knee. All the way back, we're going to bring the knees together this time, all the way to the back of the mat. Hips are going to come to heels, Balasana, your choice. So you might just come to traditional child's pose, or you might, if you're adapting child's pose, come to a nice wide stance. And you can always bring a little bit of yin into this and bring a blanket down for softness. Take a breath and really breathe into the whole of the back, really breathing into the torso, not just the core. Lovely, big, deep, full breath in child's pose. As we bring ourselves all the way up to neutral spine position, tuck the toes, take a wee hovering cat, a little bit of heat. If you want to, you don't have to tuck the toes with this. You can actually work on the front of the feet. I quite like it sometimes. Nice bit of a stretch down the front, but it's a bit of a Marmite pose. Says she, and you're saying, please stop chatting, all the way up to downward facing dog. And then we're going to meet at the front of the mat by hopping or floating to the front of the mat. Take yourself with that wide stance, take the toes slightly out, bring yourself into active squat. Sink a little deeper if you wish. Folding into Uttanasana. And we're going to sweep to chair pose, Utkatasana, pushing through the feet. Tucking the tailbone just gently in. So if you feel the tailbone scooping, see if you can just tuck your tailbone in slightly. What it will do, it will just engage your core as well. Generally just supports us a little bit more with our lower back. Inhale, lift up high. Hands come together. Bring hands to the heart. And just relax a moment in mountain. Feel the feet, that connection. Allow that lift through the inner thigh. Drawing the shoulders gently down. Taking a moment if you need, and even softening the eyes. Inhale, sweeping when you're ready. Urdhva Maybe swan diving all the way forwards. Bend the knees if you need in this pose. You can bend them really generously if you need to. Take pressure off the lower back. Inhale, flat back. Exhale into that fold again. And what we're going to do, we're going to take ourselves all the way into plank. So long plank. So give yourself lots of length and space. Remember your fingers here. Remember you're still protecting those wrists. So you're kind of really still widening the fingers and pushing into the knuckles, fingers, and creating that kind of big suction. Now you've got choices here. We're going to either come to all fours and just play with gentle cat-cow, or we're going to come to forearm plank all the way down. So this is, and we're going to come to locust. So we're going to come all the way to our belly. So you might just want to just soften it, working here with the knees down, or bring yourself all the way down, walk the toes away from you. Allow yourself to interlace the fingers behind you. It's not going to suit everybody. Pushing the arms away, the tailbone lengthening to the heels, lifting the feet and also lifting the chin. And if you're in just a cat-cow position or in forearm strengthening, just concentrate on pushing the arms into the mat. Wherever you are, we're going to bring our hands to support us all the way and push ourselves up into downward facing dog. Find your base pose here, relax the neck. Take a big inhale and let the breath go. Anchoring the left foot, we're going to lift the right all the way up to tripod. This time, stacking. So we're just keeping the weight evenly in our kind of hands, but we're bringing our heel across towards the glute. Pushing that heel towards it. Now we're going to end up in that kind of right foot lizard lunge again. So however you want to transition, bring your right foot just towards the edge of the mat. This time we're going to bring the left knee down. Excellent. Now, left arm is going to come forwards. Reaching forwards, up and over. Now, as we do this up and over, you can, if you want, bring that left foot towards your left hand. if it reaches, you can bring and clasp that foot, but don't pull it. So you haven't got straps, and Laura, yeah, good idea. If you've got a blanket, you can just pop that under a knee. Taking a moment here. And then just gently pop that leg back down. Use your hands now to support you. We're going to go towards, I did promise Amanda we weren't going to do any circular flows tonight, but I did. Kind of, it's not really. So what we're going to do, we're going to come left foot towards the back of the mat. We're going to come to a high Skandasana, side lunge here. So I'm going to use my left and my right hand on that leg and really stretch through that extended leg with the toes pointing up. It's not really a circular flow because I could keep going, so I'm not going to. So for Anne, who's new in class, pardon? You would, but Anne is new in class. I've had everybody upside down, back to front. What's that? Yeah, I know. And all the way forwards to runner's lunge. There we are. I'm going to be kind. Taking a moment here. And then what we're going to do, we're going to drop that left foot and we're going to sweep our hands to warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Find your base pose, inhale and sink maybe very slightly deeper. Make sure you can still see your toes and that you're pushing into that heel at the front. Excellent. Maybe the edge of the back foot. And as we sweep forward, if you do have blocks, you can use these to bring height coming into pyramid. So you might want to fold forwards. You might have blocks that help you do that. Breathe into this. And then we're going to just bend into that front knee. As we bend into that front knee, we're going to inhale, rise up to Virabhadrasana. Make sure you're not curling those front toes. Very easy to do. Push into the whole of the foot. Either to child's pose or take a little vinyasa. So you come to plank. You might want to come to chaturanga. You might want to come to that kind of forearm pose, meeting eventually in downward facing dog. Allow that neck to relax. Breathing deeply. Anchor the right foot, lift the left now. So we're lifting the left into three-legged dog. And then just bending the knee, bringing the heel towards the glute. Keep even pressure in both hands. Bringing that left foot all the way to a lizard position. And then grabbing that rug if you need, drawing that back right knee down. Taking a moment here. You can stay here if you want to keep this in just a little lizard pose. If not, extending the right arm forwards. So you can still stay forwards if you want, or you can open. You might even catch the foot behind you. If that's not comfy, don't force it. You just keep the foot down if you wish. So you'll know what's best for you. Keeping that breath moving. And then hands come just to balance you at the front. We're going to step that back foot up and we're going to roll onto that back foot. So not coming into full Skandasana unless you want to, coming into side lunge on the other side, just resting on the knee. I think there's a little bit going on with the inner thighs tonight. So apologies, ladies in the morning and gents, just in case you're feeling, oh, I did a bit of stretching last night. I think I can probably run faster than Amanda, so we'll be all right. Okay. And then all the way forwards into that runner's lunge. Either take a lovely big wide leg child's pose, or take a vinyasa, your choice. You can keep the heat moving, or you can just take a moment with the breath. Totally up to you, wherever you are. Just meeting in downward facing dog. Left foot's going to come forwards again. If you just step that forward, you're perfectly fine to do so. Bring the back foot into warrior position. Rise up to warrior one. Virabhadrasana 1. That's my ankle not behaving there. It was doing its own thing. Right, so just check your base pose. So just, if you see that knee wandering in, think about, okay, pushing into that front heel, and you might just see that knee, the muscles start to align, that kind of external rotation of the thigh, and pushing into that back foot, just thinking about kind of that opening there as well, lifting up, giving yourself space with the feet. And then forward into pyramid, so folding, allowing the leg to straighten at the front, but not to lock, not locking it. We're pushing into the heel, engaging the muscles of the leg. Inhale, as we bend into that front knee, we rise up to warrior one again. I'm going to get about 2 hours of yoga at this rate. Allow yourself to sink gently into the pose. And then spiral forwards, bring yourself to plank. Knees down if you just want to take a little break off the wrist. You can always come to forearms, knees down, giving you lots of options. If your forearms, knees down, you might want to raise the feet or playing in plank. As we rise up into downward facing dog, we're not going to stay here for a moment because we're going to step to the front of the mat into Uttanasana. Take the feet out to the side, come into that active squat, hands to the heart. Really pushing to the toes, pushing to the heels. Folding Uttanasana. Bring the feet back underneath you. Inhale, flat back. Ardha Uttanasana. Just check that neck position. So try not to be looking forwards. Keep the neck integral to the spine. So you're just tucking the chin very slightly. As we fold, we're going to then sweep all the way up, push into the feet, engage the core, lift yourself up. Urdhva Hastasana into mountain. Working on our right hand side. Just take a moment. We're just going to work through another wee flow. So if you need to take a drink, do. If you need to take a layer off, that's absolutely fine. If you're just taking a moment, give. Ingrid's happy that she's back. Yay! It has been, but it's been one of those summers, hasn't it, where you've been a new venture and business, but it's just been getting back into the normality of things, I think. So I hope. So back into mountain and off we go. I'm just checking where we're going. Yes, I know where we're going. Right, so we're going to anchor and weight the left hand foot very slightly. We're going to bring this right leg all the way up into one-legged mountain here. So think about your balance. And from here, we're going to just inhale a little, rise taller. And exhale, we're going to come to Virabhadrasana 3. So hands can come behind you or hands to prayer into that warrior 3. Toes on the mat. If you're not so keen on warrior 3, just to give you a wee bit of balance. Just work to where you are. If you're in warrior 3, just lifting the chest, opening the chest. Stepping very gently back, we're coming to high lunge. Crescent moon arms, lifting up. Bending that knee and sinking a little if you need to, if not straight leg. So we're going to open to Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Just take a moment to settle into the pose. As we come into reverse warrior, lifting all the way through, up. Sinking maybe a little into the knee at the front, just gently. And we're going to take this front forearm, we're going to come forwards and rest it gently on our side. And gently come to lifting the arm to the sky, a side angle variation. Now from here, we're going to find a little half bind. So everyone can do this. So turn the palm to face the back, sweep it behind you so the palm is facing outwards, and just tuck, if you're comfy, just into the side of the waist. If not, keep the hand on the hip. Okay? And then what we're going to do from here, we're going to float the hand, the left hand, just hovering above the shin, straighten that front leg, pushing into the heel, come into a bound triangle. That's it, keeping that chest nice and open. That's it, Sally, well done for adjusting. And if you feel that your shoulders slightly forwards, just rise up and maybe bring that hand up a little bit up, and that's it. And you'll find it much easier to open the chest and the shoulder. And we're going to lift the hands and the arms all the way up, stretching out the way, and drop into warrior two. Sinking back into warrior two. Sweep forwards. We're going to bring ourselves all the way to the mat, Vinyasa or child's pose. So you might come to plank. You might come to forearm plank instead of cobra. And then you might push up to downward facing dog, just for something different. Take a breath here in downward facing dog. You can always come to your knees just for a moment and just take a gentle rest if you need to. We're all going to be in a minute meeting at the front of the mat. So wherever you are, we're going to be stepping, popping, floating to the front of the mat to Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Big upward salute. Arms can come to the side, pushing into the heels. Hands all the way down to the heart. Inhale. Now you're going to put your balance onto your right hand side. Should have said that before we go off on one. So we're going into that one-legged stance again. So lifting the left hand side up. Jenny's got the short straw because now she's going to have to look at me, and I'm wobbling as well. I'm on my right ankle. It's not behaving this week. This is going to take us into Virabhadrasana 3, your version. So hands might be at the heart, arms might be outstretched. You might have airplane hands, wherever you are in your practice with Virabhadrasana 3. So you can see that my ankle is just off on one. I even had to stop running this week. And we're going to gently step that down to high lunge. Wobbling is fine. Taking a moment here. And then opening to warrior two. Yes, I can say quite categorically now, a year and a half later, after snapping 3 ligaments, they never heal the same. Such a shame, but never mind. We'll get there. I didn't do it in yoga class, by the way, just in case anyone's new in here and they're like, oh my goodness me. I fell down a hill. So we're in this warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. And then we're going to come to reverse warrior, lifting all the way up. And then bring yourself gently to that side angle variation. So lightness into that arm and then lift up to the sky. Turning the palm as we come all the way behind us, coming into that little bind, opening that top shoulder. Pushing through that front leg. We're now going to hover that right hand, keeping that left, that kind of, well, the chest open, and the left shoulder therefore then stays in place. Now, you can look down wherever it's comfy. You can look up too if you would like. So it's where the neck is comfy here. Lifting the hands, push into the feet. Allow yourself to come into a big star shape, allowing you to sink into warrior two. Tucking that tailbone just gently underneath is going to allow you more easily to engage the core and keep that posture upright, allowing yourself just to make sure that you're not moving forwards too much, you're upright. Relax those shoulders, especially Christian, just relax it, relax the shoulders. Excellent. And then we're going to come forwards, turning forwards. We're going to bring ourselves to forearms. I've got quite a few forearm planks in tonight, haven't I? Now you can just bring the knees down and stay here if you wish, or you can bring your practice all the way through to that Egyptian lion pose, wherever you're comfy. And then meeting back in downward facing dog. So working your way up, lots for the arms as well tonight. And then stepping or hopping to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift all the way up, big sunburst as we come all the way up, hands to the heart. Taking a moment here. Just feel the connection with the feet. Just check in with how you're feeling. And then we're going to inhale, lift. Exhale, you might even want to swan dive forward, softening the knees, engaging the core to just help you with this. Now from here, we're going to play. So we're going to anchor the right foot and we're going to come to a little standing split. Now you can keep your hands on the mat and allow the left leg to float. Now it's not going to come into that nice big 180 split unless you really are an Instagram yogi. Okay, or you're very, very flexible. So don't worry and push that back foot. What I'd like you to do is just think about lifting and engaging that glute. You might even want to bring a hand off the mat. You might even want to come into a balancing standing split and bring 2 hands to the ankle. Oh, 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 oh. You don't have to. Wherever you are, bringing that back foot all the way to meet the front. So we're in that little forward fold. Open the feet so we're in that wide seated place and lift to an active squat. Take a moment here. Folding back. Bring your left foot underneath you. Anchor the left foot. And equally, if you've got lower back issues, you're not going to really want to push that right leg as high as you can go. So just keep it so you're balancing gently. Even soften that knee will help. Have a little go if you want to. Play with the balance, you can. 1 hand maybe. Maybe 2. Having a little bit of fun. And then bring that knee down, that leg, the foot, whatever you need to stand on 2 feet and bring yourself all the way up. Here we go, off on a tangent again. I know why it happens. It's because I'm thinking of the next sequence and then I'm thinking of different body parts. And then by the time I've actually thought it, I'm trying to tell you what's going to happen next. And then I get myself just in a mess. So here we go. We're going to play with a figure of 4. So what we're going to do, we're going to anchor that left foot and again, come into that one-legged mountain. So just keep adjusting, that's fine. And taking a break if you need. And then I'm going to just cross and then bring myself down into a little squat, keeping the chest open. Hands can come to the heart, adjust the leg if you need. And then see if you can bring elbow to knee and foot coming just into this little figure of 4. Brilliant. Wobbling is allowed. All the way back up that one-legged mountain. Lots of balance going on here. Warrior 3, maybe hands to the heart. into high lunge, gently drawing yourself back, lifting all the way up. Dropping that back foot, coming into that little side angle here. Just a half side angle. Now you can keep the hand on the hip here. You can take that little bind that we were doing earlier, or you might even wish to sink into a full bind and catch the left arm underneath and the right arm behind if you are able to. If you're not, it's absolutely fine. Gently then pushing all the way up to warrior two. I think my legs are feeling this now. Sorry, Jenny. And then we're going to take a vinyasa or child's pose, or you can take a little alternative. You can come down to the forearms, drop the knees, come all the way back up to the forearms, and come up to downward facing dog. And what I would suggest, if you need to take a break, do. Stepping all the way, maybe small steps to the front of the mat. Draw yourself up, hinging at the hips. And sunburst if you want, whatever suits you, working on the other side. So anchor yourself, so you shift the weight slightly. That's it. And then allow yourself just to draw that ankle across, adjust if you need to, and then sink and bend at the knee. I didn't do the one-legged mountain, sorry. Just gone into a figure of four, but Laura did it for me. But it's all right, we can go there. So from here, we can go to one-legged mountain. Yay! We did it backwards. Oh, there's concentration going on. And then into Virabhadrasana 3. You can push through the heel if you wish, or you can flex the foot, don't mind. Stepping into a little crescent lunge, lifting back gently. Opening, goodness me, opening to the side. Honest, not been in the gym tonight. Allowing yourself to come into a little side angle. And then your choice, it might just be a little bind, it might be hand on the hips, or it might be sinking into a fuller bind with that shoulder open. If you feel the shoulders pointed towards the mat, it might not just be for you at the moment, and just come into a little bind. Turning all the way forwards, we're going to bring the knees together all the way low and just sink the hips back into Balasana. Active arms if you wish, or they can rest. So your forehead can rest, whatever you feel is comfy. Take a moment. Just breathing deeply into the back. And then just draw yourself all the way up. Bring your hands all the way up to the thighs and just take a moment. Next week, I think I'm going to bring just a wee little stone or something that I'm going to put at the front of your mat, because I just wanted to walk around the room there and just a few people so that you sink into that child's pose. And we haven't started the hands-on adjustments back from COVID-y things, but I think I wanted to go and just gently push Amanda down and Jenny down, but it's maybe not something that you want yourself. So I'll bring a stone and you can flip the stone either way, and that'll tell me whether you want an adjustment or not. And maybe start to bring that back into class. I don't think I've done much of that at all with anybody here. So it's one of the lovely things in child's pose is just if someone just gently, firmly just pushes very gently on the lower spine sacrum, and you just feel, and even between the shoulders, and you feel a bit more melting. It's just a lovely thing. So maybe bring that back with some stones. Or something lighter than stones, given the number in class. I'd be like coming in with a bag. So we're just going to come all the way down. So bring the feet in front of you. So coming into Dandasana. And Nick and Ma, you can do this at home. You can do the adjustments at home. So Nick, you can just press Ma's back. I'll show you how. It can be a virtual adjustment. Pushing the feet and the back of the legs in Dandasana, tucking the tailbone underneath and pulling the toes towards you. Just allowing yourself a moment here. Really feeling that activation in the legs. And we're going to shift the right leg up. Now you can stay just here with that sole of the foot. You can really feel this working. You don't have to take a twist at all. And you can choose as well. So it might be that for you, just a very gentle open twist is absolutely okay. And the gentle twists are absolutely fine for everybody. We're not really kind of wringing the side, but we're just gently taking the arm, not really a twist, but you might want to then turn this. Or you might want to turn it so you're a closed twist, which is not for everybody, and work towards the knee. Keeping that nice length in the spine. Growing tall. And then gently swapping legs. Really pushing the back of the leg into the mat, pushing the sole of the foot into the mat. Maybe just that you grow tall. The left arm comes just inside. And you just lift the spine. It's a lovely thing to do actually without the twist. Really feeling that activation, that connection. Or please feel free to play. Find something that suits you. And then gently coming forwards, we're going to bring both of the soles of the feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana, into butterfly, seated butterfly. And here, you've got choices. You can give yourself a foot massage. You can think that you need to sort your manicure out or not, if you don't have them. Or you can fold. Totally up to you. And you are able, if you want to round the spine here. Stretch. Bring movement that feels good. Allowing just maybe stillness. And then gently bringing the knees together. We're going to bring ourselves all the way to the mat into constructive rest pose. So we're just going to take ourselves all the way down, allowing the spine to lengthen. If you're starting to cool down, we're starting to get low on the mat, put some layers on. And that constructive rest pose where we take the feet out to the edge of the mat, knees come together, just allowing the spine just to soften, to lengthen. Softening the eyes if you wish. Hands might be on the belly, they might be on the mat. Feeling the breath. Release, just a natural rise and fall of the breath. And then if you want to, just adding a little bit of supine movement here, twist, you could gently rock the knees back and forwards. You can bring the feet, giving you options here. It doesn't suit everybody. And if you're not even keen on being on your back, you can sit up and you can actually take this just by gently drawing the knees side to side. If that's not suiting, you can just use an upright pose here. Just gently rocking and rolling, whatever you need to do. Bringing the knees into the chest. If that feels comfy, you can do this upright too. Just allowing a moment. And then it's very much your choice. If you wish to go down into Shavasana, you can do. If you wish to join me in a seated meditation, you can do. Just going to pop my socks on, so I feel my feet cooling down slightly. If you have a blanket, just take the time just to get comfy. If you're in Shavasana, you're very welcome to bend at the knees or put something under the back of the knees. And I've not left as long as I normally would. That's okay, I'm fine. Wherever you are, taking a moment. Taking a moment to settle the body. Allowing yourself to maybe settle the shoulder blades. And to start to feel the relaxation, the heaviness of the body. The connection. Maybe if you're in seated, just aware of the sit bones. Maybe in Shavasana, if you feel the heels and the back of the legs, spine, awareness of the shoulders. Relaxation in the arms and the fingers, palms of the hand, the wrists, the jaw, softness between the eyes, the forehead, and lightness. Allow that lightness just to spread through the body. Maybe imagining a warm white light. Or maybe just imagining yourself in a peaceful place that means something to you. Reminding yourself if you set an intention at the beginning of the practice. Just allow the breath to ease, to rise and fall. And gently bringing your awareness back to the body. Maybe moving the hands and the toes gently. When you're ready, Just using that really slow, mindful movement to roll onto your left-hand side. Allowing yourself to gradually, slowly move up towards seated. Take your time. Allowing yourself to bring your hands together at the heart. Just feeling that connection of the palms. Inhale, exhale, and thank you very much for joining class tonight. It's nice to see everybody again. I really missed you actually. And thank you to Mara and Nick online as well. We shall see you soon. See you next week. I'll stop the recording before I witter on the recording. I will put this one online. I've got a number to put online for you now. Recording, stop.